Hi everyone, my name is Anya and today I'm going to be bringing you my first trimester recap. So for those of you that don't know, first trimester actually ends at 12 weeks. So I'm going to be talking all about from conception all the way through the 12-week period. And it was a really eventful first trimester for me this time around, I must say. So I did have a lot of travel with work, so that's one of the things that cost me the most amount of actual symptoms because I did experience a lot of nausea at the beginning, given that I was traveling so much, especially when planes were taking off and landing. That was the worst. I remember during my first trip, I actually ordered a ginger ale thinking that that would ease my stomach. And the sweetness of it was just so much for me to handle that I couldn't even look at it. It was so bad. And so even though I actually never got sick, it was very, very difficult to manage the nausea and just close my eyes all throughout the time that I was landing and taking off especially. So once I was already up in the air, it was pretty much, fine, smooth sailing. But that landing and that taking off was really, really what most of the time made me struggle the most. Apart from the nausea that was triggered by the actual flight itself, I would experience intermittent nausea, but it wasn't anything too serious. So I remember with Sebastian, I actually did get sick a couple of times and I didn't experience a lot of nausea. What I experienced was just, oh my God, I need to run to the bathroom right now to throw up, and that was pretty much it. But with this pregnancy, that first trimester really kicked into high gear with a lot of nausea and no getting sick whatsoever. I didn't actually throw up not one time, and not one time have I thrown up in this whole entire pregnancy, which is amazing. But I did have to manage a lot of that nausea by just keeping an eye on what I was eating, what I was consuming. If I was actually too long of a period of time without eating, I would get nauseous as well. I would need to eat little things here and there. That's a good tip for you, by the way, if you're thinking about getting pregnant or going to get pregnant or are just starting into your pregnancy. Definitely have a snack available at all times because it could kick in at any moment, and typically eating a little bit of something will ease it. So my first trimester fell within the time frame that I was going back to school for this spring semester. I'm actually in school right now. I'm studying to get my doctorate, and so it was really tough to juggle all of the traveling for work and then also be present in school during the times that I needed to be there, do all of the assignments while handling all of what was going on during that first trimester symptoms situation. It was pretty interesting, but I think I juggled it well. I think that it was fine. It was just a lot. It was definitely one of those things that you do because you have to, but you wouldn't choose it if you could actually schedule it. So I did it. I plowed through and I got it done, which was, in the end, it was fine. It was especially hard during week 8. Because during week 8, I was also traveling for work and had to basically land and go straight to school. That was definitely a really huge juggling act. Sebastian, I had not seen him for a few days, and I was so sad that I was not going to be able to be with him for an additional day because I had to spend the time in class. So, while I am sure that he's not even going to remember that happened, at the time when it happened, for me, it was really intense. And as you already know, hormones are all over the place when you're pregnant, especially during that first trimester. I feel like everything's just a big mumbo jumbo of hormones and emotions. And so it was really tough for me to juggle that, to be able to say, you know what, I really need to do this. I need to take care of this. He's going to be proud of me in the end. The baby, that I'm carrying is going to be proud of me in the end, and I need to push through. But I did have to, go to school, especially during this spring semester, a lot. And, as I said, wouldn't have chosen to schedule it this way, but it happened the way it happened, and I plowed through and it got done. So I finally found a doctor that I liked. It was a huge manhunt at the beginning, let me tell you, or a woman hunt, because I actually ended up with a woman doctor. But I really love, you know, where I've landed. Even though I had to do several rounds of research because of insurance stuff and proximity and who's good and who's not that good. You know, I was looking at a lot of reviews and making sure that I was comfortable with who I was going with. And I finally chose somebody. I went on week 8, and they actually did an ultrasound about 2 weeks after that, and everything went super well. Everything has been, you know, right on point with where the baby needs to be. The heartbeats are where they need to be. The measurements are where they need to be. Everything, the blood work, everything. So one of the things that also happened when I was in my first trimester was that I got the blood test that tests for all of the defects. I'm not sure exactly which defects, but it's during week 12 that they actually take your blood and give you those results. But in that blood work, they could also tell you what the sex of the baby is. And I'm going to be doing a separate video informing or announcing the actual sex of this second baby. So as you all know, of course, I have Sebastian, who's a boy. He's my firstborn. And so this time around, it's going to be interesting to see what you guys think, because it was definitely a surprise for me. Maybe I'm giving it away in just that, but I will be doing a video to kind of showcase what happened and how we found out what we were having. So as far as exercise is concerned, I haven't done much at all. I even canceled my gym membership about a year ago, and I have been doing the normal things that you do, of course, you know, walking up and down the stairs a million times a day, going food shopping, doing everything that you need to do around the house. But it hasn't really been, let me get in front of, you know, Pilates class or something like, not a Pilates, but like a yoga or a Zumba or whatever the case may be, and actually intentionally move as an exercise. Which, by the way, I have heard that just your daily living exercises burns more calories than intentionally going and like walking on a treadmill, which I think is great, because I definitely do a lot more of the, you know, just day-to-day work that is included in being just a mom of a 1.5-year-old, and not having to go to a gym is definitely a plus if I can get a good workout out of my daily activities. So that's definitely where I have, you know, stayed in the range that I have stayed within my exercise routine for that first trimester. My diet has really not changed a lot. I am actually still eating most of the same thing. I try to eat mostly plant-based. I do eat a little bit of cheese here and there, and so because I have to incorporate pizza. Like, I love pizza, and I think that when I'm pregnant it's even worse. So I've definitely incorporated that into my diet, even though that's not fully plant-based. But I do try to stay within that kind of mostly plant-based area. Yeah, so that stayed the same, and it actually stayed the same when I was with Sebastian as well, and everything worked out fine, which gives me a lot more peace of mind right now that I know that everything will be fine. At the beginning it was a little bit daunting, like, oh, is everything going to go fine? I mean, my family has never done this way. Nobody that I actually know in person has done things this way, and so everything turned out well with him. Sebastian eats also the same way I do, and everything is great with us, which I find a lot of peace in, and so I'm moving forward in that direction this time around as well. As far as my weight was concerned, at the end of my first trimester, I was at about 122 pounds. So it does vary, but it was basically around that same, that little range right there. So I think that I've actually increased probably around 7 pounds all in the first trimester, which It sounds like a lot, but I actually started below where I should have been, which it's been great that I've been able to increase that amount in the first trimester, because typically people do get very sick and sometimes even lose weight as a result of that sickness during that first trimester. So that definitely didn't happen to me. I had a pretty good first trimester given everything else that was going on. So I was good to go. Emotionally speaking, I as I mentioned earlier, there were a lot of things going on. I was super busy and I felt really overwhelmed in a lot of ways with everything that I was going through with my work and school and life in general. You know, of course, having a small baby and being pregnant with the other one, the uncertainties that start going through your mind and all of those things. But during the first trimester, I definitely think I kept a really good balanced emotional state, I would say. It was pretty good overall. I'm going to insert some pictures here and there of everything that like I looked like, because I didn't actually take belly shots of every single week, but I did take some pictures when I was traveling and away from home to send back to my husband. Hi everyone. So obviously different setting. My camera died earlier. Actually the battery died, and I just wanted to conclude the video. I had pretty much said everything that I needed to say. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already, and stay tuned because I will be sharing with you much more about this pregnancy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.